Hey everyone, hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy, my channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities, ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as I go through it, and if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com, where I dive deeper into all of these topics and subjects, looking for investment opportunities and sharing those opportunities with everybody in the community. I do look at a wide variety of different commodity companies, precious metals, energy, energy services, coal, uranium, steel, iron ore, base metals like copper, zinc, um, vanadium, whatever it is. I basically look at it and see what kind of opportunities there are. I do have a unique way of quickly sifting through all these companies. And if you're already a member, you guys know kind of my method. We do have a coupon code specials going on. You get 50% off the first month on the monthly membership. It's only the first month. And you get a larger discount. It's $100 off the yearly membership if you'd like to directly sign up, or you can switch from a monthly to a yearly. All right, guys, let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. So starting with the DXY, I'm still in the camp that this could go higher. I know we got the news released about jobs data, unemployment or jobs data. And we saw an initial reaction to that. And you can see we're still in this kind of wedge. And you can see we bounced off that support pretty good. If we were going to break through this, in my opinion, we would have seen it really bust through and get close on the bottom here. And we come up and do one of those. But we have a pretty big wick on the bottom here. So I'm still in the camp that this could go higher. Now I know we saw weakness in yields today. And it very well could be the case that Vicent and Powell and all these guys are releasing information to try to push the dollar down and interest rate. Could be. I don't know. But right now, it looks good. Yields falling. Usually you don't get a bounce like this. So I put the circle there and I'm like, well, we need to see if we get follow through. This is not exactly follow through, guys. So now we want to see where this goes next. If we get strong candlesticks coming up, we're going higher. If we get weak candlesticks where they kind of just slowly come up real small like that, we could roll over. So again, I'm going to remain open to whichever direction. We're in this big wedge still. We've got a still squeezing up. And this is not necessarily a huge bearish candlestick today where I'm like, wow, we're really going to drop here. I'm remaining open here. The 10-year also sold off. We're still above support, big structure, and a little wick at the bottom. So a little bit of support, which means selling pressure in bond speak. Yields going up is selling pressure. And then the 30-year, this one had a lot of volatility here. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this is a glitch or what, but I think it initially was sent higher here. Then it was brought on down, almost like they had to control it. Like they didn't want this response to be booked. Funny, funny, funny. But look at that. Look at that. We're coming up into a wedge here. That's generally a bullish formation. They don't want yields. Vicent, Powell, they don't want yields flying higher here. They're going to have to try to hold this thing down. We'll see what happens. TLT bond prices are up. That's what happens. Yields drop, bond prices go up. So in the short term, we're heading higher. Longer term, got lots of downside pressure. So can we come up here? And then when we come up there, what's it going to look like if we get up there? That's the question. 2 and the 10 is flat, so we didn't really move anywhere with the relationship of the 10 and 30 year, or 2 and 10 here, sorry, 2 and 10. TYX, TNX ratios, the 10 and 30, 30 and 10, I should say, and it didn't go anywhere. Gold flying higher. It's up $40 an ounce. Now, I thought we were going to get this big pullback that people were talking about on Twitter. Doesn't look like a pullback to me. I don't know. I don't know the short term, guys. I don't think anyone else knows the short term. I would be bullish. This is a bullish formation when you break this to the upside. That is bullish. So whether we get a return move, whether we get a consolidation, I don't really care. Doesn't matter to me. I think big picture view, we're going up. We're going up. Looks good. Silver is up, but not as much as gold. You got a nice big surge higher there, and we got a little bit of a consolidation going. Still looks good. Platinum's up $9 an ounce. Kind of doing a retest. No, I drew this that way. You can also draw it flat where the closing prices are. You can also draw it like this too. So it could just be a return move, retest of the breakout, and we'll see if we get follow through to the upside. Palladium down a little bit. Again, this still looks bullish. We filled this gap here. There's a gap right there, and we filled that today. Went down and tapped it. So still looks good to work its way on up. Bad. And this is coming on a big bullish pattern though. The falling wedge into a double bottom, and we're trying to break higher. So eventually, I think this is all going to go up. XAU to gold ratio. We saw the gold and silver mining companies outperforming gold, up 1.21%, which means they went up decently today. And we're still coming from no man's land down here, guys. This is still a generational opportunity to get positioned in gold and silver mining companies. It's still not too late. But if we get up here, I'm going to be less likely to be like, oh yeah, go buy a bunch up here after they've run hundreds of percents. Your risk reward is controlled by where you purchase it. That is your greatest risk reward opportunity. GDX is up 2.7. It is flying. Looking good. DXJ is up 2.65. And SILJ is up 1.82, and it is sitting on top of the launching pad. SILJ is the closest to its bottom versus GDX and GDXJ and SIL. And I still think this has good opportunity to the upside. Does that mean I'd go buy a whole bunch? No, I'd go buy it down here and down here. Why? Because that's where your lowest risk reward opportunities are in the market. Corner there and here. Breakout, return move, and you got to ride it. Crude oil down 2.28%. Am I bearish on it? I am not. I am bullish. Why am I bullish? Well, I mean, gold generally precedes a big move in crude oil, and gold's been flying. So we're sitting here, we're down today based off the news that was released, and I know they want lower interest rates. They have to hit crude oil because crude oil and interest rates are linked. So every time you see crude oil and interest rates, every time you see interest rates go down, you usually see crude oil go down. TTF gas down a little bit, still looks good to go higher. No change there. We've got natural gas in America down a little bit. We've broken this downtrend, so my thinking is up, even though if this comes down, it's still an up move. You're doing a small downward move in a upward move, up in a longer time frame up move. You can have a short-term pullback. No big deal. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, holding on today above support. We're still above that. This is a bullish signal, not bearish. It is not bearish. So if someone says, Andy, what about the recession? Oil could go down. That's not what people buying XOP think. The smart money is accumulating. They're sitting on top of patterns. So when people say questions or statements, that's like saying, do you look at the charts? Can you read the charts? I'll say this. What I'm looking at is like miles away from everyone else. Miles away. So when people say certain things, I am getting data firsthand from smart money that's positioning in the market. And I'm able to read the script that is basically being given out there. That's the difference, guys. OIH also, do you see big selling pressure here? I think it's just a short-term move. I think oil going down today was news related. I think we could still see the dollar go up, and the long end of the curve could still go up too. And oil, it's like it's not being tricked here. It's well poised for a potential move higher, not lower. We got Newcastle coal futures that were down 0.77% today. We're still coming and sitting, look at the selling pressure on the right-hand side here. There isn't any. Yeah, there's no follow through. So the sellers are not winning here. So we came on up. There was a reversal candlestick here. We have a little bit of selling pressure, and it looks like it's almost coming down in a flag pattern or a falling wedge or something like that. So that looks good for coal. It doesn't look bad. We've got Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, and again, if you're bearish here, I don't know what is wrong with you. Like, it's going up, guys. We got a little bit of resistance that we got to bust through, but this all looks good to me. Have to work its way on up. A little bit of selling pressure right at resistance. Don't worry. Uranium futures pricing, chopping sideways. It's all good. Deal. Sometimes the markets take their time. You and I can't do anything about that. Once it takes its time, it takes its time. URA, the equities are up. That's a bullish statement. We're sitting on top of a downward facing pattern. That's bullish. Not much selling pressure up here, guys. URNM up 1.35, sitting on top of support. Bullish. Up, up, up. URNJ up 2%, sitting on top of support. Bullish. Up. Now you can always look left. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance through this section here. We're in that resistance zone. So might take a little bit of time, maybe not. Depends what the market does. I mean, what you're asking of most people is, when are people going to buy my stock? I mean, that's ultimately what people ask. When is uranium going to go up? Well, what you're asking is, when are other people going to buy uranium stock? And does anyone know that question? No. And then the chart patterns are just telling us if people are accumulating it or not. That's what bottoms are. Like this shoulder, head, shoulder, bottom there. That's a bottoming pattern, this thing there. That's when people accumulate. And that's when you should be accumulating. Be accumulating it in the accumulation zone. URNJ versus URNM continuing to head higher, and that's broken to the upside. So that's generally what happens in bull markets. I think this will go way up, way, way, way up in the future. Nickel down a little bit. This is still has a little bit of sellers in there, working through them. That's why it's the dead period. You got to work through the sellers, and the buyers overrun it, and it will go up. Copper down slightly. Still looks good. Still looks good. Just small selling pressure here. Nothing major. Nothing like this tariff debacle. The OPX is up. So why are people accumulating the equities if copper's down? Because they know what's coming. Whether that's money printing, lower rates, combination of both, I don't know. Looks good. Got lithium up 7.5%. You know what happened? We hit resistance. We paused at resistance. There's the resistance. We broke out. Boom. Now, could this fill the gap? It could. We get a gap fill where it does a retest on top of support. Totally possible. But it looks good. It doesn't have to do that, though. It doesn't have to. REMX also up 2.5%. Good. Good. Iron ore down 0.8%. No reversal candlesticks. That looks good to go higher. Big pattern. Big pattern leads to big moves. Aluminum, 25.91, still below the 26.50 that we'd like to get up here. Break through all that. Baltic Dry Index up 1.19. And yeah, I do think this is going to continue higher. These are all bullish formation, breakout, retest, and then we're going to go higher. We're just consolidating here in the very short term. Emerging markets, like in the weaker dollar, that's up. And again, this is going to go way up. If that dollar falls, this will be supercharged to the upside. Supercharged. Moo, up 0.66, still underneath resistance. Haven't broken through resistance. That's right there. We're pausing, much like lithium's doing. And then we'll see a big move, most likely. KRE down a little bit of selling pressure, a little bit of resistance right where we're at. We've got XHB up 1.8%, and not a totally bullish candlestick, but we're up. We've got Russell up 0.5, coming towards this kind of resistance zone. Could be kind of like a shoulder head shoulder deal going on, something like that. I don't know. We've got let's get those out of there. S&P 500. I don't like the way this thing. I don't like the way it looked here. I don't like the way it looked here. I don't like the way it looks here. I don't know. Like somehow it has defied physics, yanking this thing down, it just keeps melting higher. But yeah, this doesn't look all that great up here. NASDAQ could be doing a return move to the top here, which then rolls over. But calling tops here, it seems to basically take off the head of anyone who calls a top in the NASDAQ. It just floating higher. So who knows? We'll see. The Dow Jones Transportation Index are sitting below this upward facing channel, so it could head lower. A little bit of, I don't see a ton of selling pressure here. Good. XLI doing a little, it's underneath resistance. So see if it rolls over or not. Then Bitcoin's up. That still looks good. Go higher. Ethereum's up, is above support. Still looks good to go on up. MicroStrategy's up 2.5%. That's holding on. Bitcoin going up. The VIX is down a little bit. So the boys, the plunge protection team, holding this thing down. That's good, right? Maybe. I don't know. And then that's it. That's all I've got for today. Give me a thumb up to the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you like. Special coupon code. We've got a 5 p.m. Mountain Time Sunday Zoom call where you can interact with me directly. That's something that interests you. If you want to learn about these markets, if you want to ask questions about maybe a stock or two that you have, go ahead. You can sign up. You can ask me directly, and I can share my opinion. Granted, I don't know every stock on the stock market, so sometimes I might give you an iffy answer if I don't know the company that well. I do look at a whole bunch of different sectors. I don't know all of the companies, obviously, a whole bunch, thousands and thousands of companies. So I'll give you my opinion of what either the chart looks like, look at maybe a quick valuation metric. That's all I can do. Have to dive into the fundamentals and dive into the company and listen to earnings calls and stuff if you really want to do a good job on covering the company. All right, guys, that's all I've got. See you next time.